Hi Adrian here and welcome to today's video. As you already know, this year I've started using Kask helmets primarily because of my Aero testing that took place in January. I ended up with using a Kask Mistral time trial helmet, but then I really liked the brand and the other products that they offer. So I decided to basically ditch all of my helmets and replace them with Kask models. So the first one I got for general use was a Protone. I've already shown you this. It's not an out-and-out Aero helmet, but it has been optimized for aerodynamic performance. But as you can see, the front is massively ventilated, and it's a helmet that I really like. Super comfortable, super well ventilated, pretty light, and should be quite aerodynamic as well. So it has been my go-to option for most of my riding, from mountain biking to mixed terrain rides, road rides, and time trial training. But as I said, it's not an out-and-out Aero road race helmet, which brings us neatly into the Utopia model, which is basically a step up in terms of aerodynamics compared to the Protone. It uses an aggressive elongated design and the front of the helmet is much more closed up. It's much more of a smooth surface for the wind to flow around your head, and should be quite a lot faster than a Protone. So it can be used even in triathlons when it's really hot and you want more ventilation than traditional closed time trial helmet, or well, the main purpose is of course fast-paced road racing and road riding. So what is the real difference between these two helmets? The most obvious one is the choice of shaping that they've done, and also the way the ventilation works. So as I said, the Protone, probably the most ventilated helmet I've ever had. I was also looking at the Aero, but I tried this in hot weather in mountain biking and I didn't feel the need for more ventilation, so I just stuck with this. As I said, the front is extremely open and it's channeled towards the rear. Yeah, it's an open design, not that much of deep internal channeling. The air is taken care of by basically the vents, whereas the Utopia has more fun stuff inside. As you can see, three I would say main deep internal channels as opposed to vents, with some Venturi effect going on at the back and at the sides. In terms of feel, it's extremely hot these days that I've been riding. I chose the Utopia on purpose on hilly undulating roads, and I have to say I didn't become extremely sweaty or hot-headed, although generally it's not a big deal for me, so yeah, I'm not perhaps the best person to talk about that because I don't suffer too much. What I do suffer from is sweat dripping from my brow. I had that in all of my helmets, and for some reason in these I haven't experienced that in any conditions, which is a very good sign for me. So yeah, noticeably less ventilated than the Protone, but still excellent, as I would say, as far as Aero helmets come. Perfectly usable in even moderately long climbs in the mid-30s in terms of temperature Celsius. The other features, of course, aerodynamics and ventilation, the most important ones. If you look at the construction, it's not all that different. The straps are basically identical, same for the ratchet system at the back, same adjustments, although I would say the vertical adjustment has a bit of a wider range on the Utopia, so if you are particular about that, then it's a great choice. You can see differences in padding internally as well. Of course, to accommodate the channeling, which is different. The Protone uses quite a lot of moisture wicking foam, whereas in the Utopia, well, not so much. Two of these long stripes, but still little pads on the sides, that's pretty much it. although as I said, works perfectly. Comfort wise, that's entirely subjective, but I find the Protone a bit more comfortable, particularly on the forehead area of this section in particular. As I said, none of them drip sweat, so that's good. But yeah, a little bit fewer pressure points on the forehead with this one compared to this. But yeah, pretty damn good still with the Utopia. Also, one thing I would like to mention, this is a medium helmet, same as my Mistral, but the Protone is a small. Both fit me perfectly. I've tried the size small Utopia and I felt a bit cramped in there, so maybe it's just the shape of my head, but perhaps it's worth keeping in consideration. For me, the S wasn't comfortable, the M is perfect, as opposed to Protone, where the S is perfect, the M feels a bit too roomy. Weight-wise, I don't know exact numbers, to be honest. I will put them in the description down below. They're all on par with, well, basically every helmet manufacturer. So no big deal here or deal breaker. One thing I'd like to note, Kask doesn't use MIPS liners in their helmets. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's up to you. One thing is for sure, that it doesn't obstruct the excellent ventilation that you can find in these helmets. And of course doesn't add weight. So that's up for you to decide. So to sum things up, Protone, super ventilated, super light. I wouldn't really go down to the Allegro, and as I didn't. Great for all-round riding, from mountain biking to road racing. The Utopia, a bit more focused on aerodynamics, a bit less ventilated, but still pretty damn comfortable and light. So yeah, depends really on the use which you want out of them. Both excellent helmets, and I really like both, along with my Mistral, which is a super fast, at least for me, the fastest ever time trial helmet that I've had, proven by aerodynamic testing. Also, the guys at Aero confirmed that both of these helmets perform very well in the wind tunnel. So really great all-round choice for racing and training. It's all for today about these helmets. If you want to know more about the equipment that I use for my riding and racing, and don't forget to tune in for the channel and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.